Hey, what is going on, you guys? Welcome to One of Each, the Dumb and Hungry podcast, where we talk about our food adventures and what food groups really mean. I'm Angelo, also known as Dumb and Hungry.
And I'm my chow.
What was that? Some sort of snarky remark? What's going on?
You're still going on with what food groups really mean, huh?
Until we find something better. Okay. I'm sticking with food groups. Food groups are important. You need to.
That's why I want to know all your food groups.
That's right. And we're going to discuss one today. Yet another important food group. So just be patient and we'll get there. We don't necessarily follow like the US regulated, recommended whatever food group. We have our own. So that's what we go off of.
Oh, that's what we should do.
I think we still cover a decent amount of nutrition.
I feel like we're missing a certain green aspect in our food groups.
Well, I think, there's a consumption of green, but it's not through us. Okay. It eventually comes to us indirectly. Okay, we've gotten too far.
I don't think we get those benefits.
Let's just we'll get back on track here. But how you doing?
I'm okay, I guess. A little disturbed now, but
Well, I don't know what you think you signed up for, but this it can only get worse.
Yeah, I suppose so. It couldn't have gone worse than our setup today.
That's fine. A little bump here and there, but we're working through it. Even though we've done like several pilot episodes to try it out, it's still figuring it out. Oh,
it's fine.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
It's always the worst season.
Okay. Well, oh boy, come on now. But let's talk about anything going on with you. Anything good you've eaten?
I had a friend come down from NorCal over the weekend, so we went to a bunch of different places.
Mm-hmm.
One of the standout things, honestly, was we went back to Sonic's.
Oh boy!
And there was a pickle slush. It was
the
featured items were just pickle related. They had fried pickles, like fried okra, but pickles instead. It was actually really good. But I like fried okra and the texture of the slimy friedness.
I don't think I've had something like that. So you think it was okay?
I think it was great, actually.
Wow.
The pickle slush is basically just a pickle juice slush. It was delicious. Most of us liked it. One person didn't, but it wasn't bad. I'd go again. I'd get it again for sure.
You'll have to get me out there because, again, been a while since I've been to Sonic's, and probably don't remember if I've ever had something like a pickle slush. So, thank you for that.
You gotta try it. It's good. It's good.
I can hear the law enforcement coming now to arrest someone
for the pickle slush. Yes,
for how criminal it is. I'm not sure, but as for me, pretty relatively uneventful. But one thing I did have, I was invited to a buddy's place, and his family was kind of hosting something there, and some of his family's he's not, but some of his family's Indonesian, and so they served up some good Indonesian food. Particularly, this thing called nasi bungkus. It's like a banana leaf, wrapped in a banana leaf. We got like things like rice and meat, and some greens in there. Okay,
yeah.
Sometimes got like a hard boiled egg, things like that, and then all those kind of those good kind of spices and things. And so, I mean, we just kind of threw down on that, and that was pretty good. I don't remember where it came from. I think it was a local
didn't make
spot.
It, or
no, they got it from a local spot, somewhere on the west side. But I enjoyed that.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, I think so. But we are gonna continue on with more delicious things. Welcome back, really, to you, my child, because and everyone else, really, who's decided to join us again. I'm not sure if the last episode and whatever we've been doing has thrown you off, but we're glad you're back. So that must mean we've got other things to talk about and good things to say. So, but we go back to the question of why. Why are we doing this? But once again, we've eaten a lot of food, and but we met a lot of good people as well. And so I think it's just some things to say about, again, the good things we've eaten and the good people we've met, and just remembering some things along the way. Again, we've uh, cameras eating first too, so they got some things to say too. So we'll look at some of that. But we really kind of what we're really trying to do is just kind of highlight, spotlight, these places, and focus on like a place every time, and most of these are going to be like kind of pop up kind of things, people that just kind of set up, every so often and kind of set up, whether it's in their backyard or, at maybe at a storefront or something, or just something, and uh, people just kind of find them around through word of mouth or social media. It's kind of that, what they call that underground scene. And a lot of these places that we're going to talk about kind of started off that way, particularly this one that'll be coming up. It
Yeah.
started off in the backyard. It was literally one of those. And now they're kind of a full-fledged kind of brick and mortar, spot, and they got it's the real deal. So, it's very interesting to see one of these places from the beginning, at least for us, from our beginning with them to, where they are now. So, um, but let's as we go along, we will kind of talk about again what this is. This is yet another important food group, I believe, in everyone's diet, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every non-vegetarian's diet.
Well, sure. I mean, they have a place as well for in places, but maybe not here. This
Not this
particular
place.
spot.
Definitely not
Yeah,
this
no.
place.
But burgers are an important food group. And again, we talk about this culture of the underground and finding people just through social media. And we also visit this concept of line culture, people waiting in line
Mm,
for something, and whether, waiting, if it's worth the wait for something like a burger, made in someone's backyard. I mean, why don't I just go off to a restaurant or, through drive through or something, just pick up something on the way that, I don't have to wait, a couple of hours for it. If you remember, we've
oh,
probably found ourselves in those positions, huh?
many times,
I know.
especially with this place.
Yeah. And now to kind of just, um, to kind of say, what this place is, this spot is a very interesting spot that we found, and it's called Burgers Never Say Die. Okay. And this was a very interesting spot because, again, it was just kind of an introduction to that concept that there are people who make food in their backyards and they sell them to strangers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like that concept. I was just so blown away by it because I think before Ragtop Ferns, you took me here, and so this is my first experience with this whole backyard thing
Oh, interesting. Okay.
before Fern, and like the first time we went, I was skeptical as all hell.
Mm-hmm.
I did
Mm-hmm.
not. I don't know, man. And maybe
Yeah.
it's the way
No,
my
it's
parents
interesting.
raised
I
me,
think
but
in the timeline of things, I'm pretty sure I had hit up Fern for barbecue first, and then I found out about this place. And then, yeah, then we probably went here together for burgers, and then we would just kind of go back and forth. We would pick up food
yeah,
from Fern, and then we just bring it over
I remember
as
doing
we
that too.
wait
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
the next thing. It's yeah, it was kind of
The
interesting.
good, the good days
Yeah. So
before
burgers
my
never say
heart started
die. I
hurting.
mean, that's this also introduced. I don't know. It just really opened my eyes to this other thing about burgers, that these different styles of burgers. I think in LA or maybe California, there's this trend for the longest time where burgers were like really big.
Oh yeah,
You got these big, decked out, kind of stacked high.
thick pound
Yeah,
burgers.
exactly. But with something like Burgers Never Say Die, um, I think it brought to light this style of the smash burger. Even though that style, as I've learned, it's definitely not new. I mean, you go to the Midwest, I mean, it's been there the whole time. I
Mhm.
mean, that's really the style of really a traditional homage to, you know, what a burger probably really is. Um, but to bring it here, and just kind of really get that attention. I think that's really it. Like the timing and the attention that
Yeah.
they've had has really put it on, on the map. So they may not necessarily have been the first to do it, but again, because of the attention that they've gotten,
Yeah, they
it,
blew up.
yeah, it really blew up. They blew up. This whole concept of smash burgers blew up.
Smashburgers, yeah.
I mean, at least, the way I see it, I'm sure there are probably others who've probably been doing it, on their own or whatever. But yeah, I mean, this trend is like really, I could probably thank them, for that, for really opening my eyes to that. So,
I believe it. I think that's fair.
yeah. So, but who are they? I mean, who is this? Who is Burgers Never Say Die? I mean, I will go. It's this team, of people. There's one guy named Sean. He does the main like cooking and
Cooking.
does the smashing of the burgers on the griddle and that kind of thing. And then he had like a crew of people. He had a couple guys named Brad and Gary who would do the prep. They would dope the buns. They would kind of set those up for the patties to go on. Then they put on all the toppings and all the things on there and get them ready to be served. And then they also had this gal, Bonnie, who would take the orders, and keep track of all of that. So, together they were that crew of the Burgers Never Say Die. So it was it was a small operation, obviously, but if you remember, like times when we would visit, we'd have to get there at a certain time,
Yeah,
because if we were
basically.
even, a few minutes late, I mean, you get,
Yeah.
right?
We regularly got there half an hour ahead of time, like before they started taking orders because there's already a line.
Again, it's just like this kind of new behavior, this kind of new concept. Like, yeah, you don't wanna miss out, and you don't want to wait too long or whatever. So you get there early, so you don't miss anything, or you make sure you get a good spot. So yeah, it was a very interesting concept.
Because I
So
remember they also
mhm.
they sold out relatively quickly every time. They
I
started
think
at
so.
12 and
Hmm.
within hours they were sold out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Because they would say, "Oh yeah, we'll be cooking from like noon to 4 or whatever," but by that time, it's like ain't nothing left. Let me bring up. I had this email. I still remember. I'll just read off a few things because there's an art. From the one of the original, I think it was articles that I came across about this place. It was saying like you gotta email these guys for more info. Yeah, it wasn't
Why?
sliding into their DMs or nothing. It was actually emailing these guys. And so I think you're looking with me here, but just reading off a few of the things that kind of stand out. I said, hey, I was interested in trying your burgers. Heard from Instagram. Where can I find you and things like that. Says thanks for the email. Here are a few things to know. Number one, no animals, no alcohol, no smoking. They're strictly enforced. I mean, we didn't do none of that, so it's no
Yeah.
problem. Um, Wait times will reach 2 hours. So if you have anxious children, we're not the best burger spot. They point them to other places they can go. We live in a residential area, and that's true. I mean, they were, in East Hollywood, kind of right off the 101 exit near, let's say, Santa Monica or something like that.
Yeah, but
So,
for they
you
were
know,
deeper in the neighborhood side,
yeah, yeah, exactly. But uh, in the email they did share that where to go and all that, but um, they live in a residential area, and so to be respectful of the neighbors, and there's a certain side of the driveway you should line up in, and try not to block the paths of the neighbors and things like that. Um, and so that was kind of a lot of the things that they were doing for crowd control and making sure everything kind of went smoothly. So you just kind of stand in line, you walk up, Bonnie takes your order, and then, along the driveway, there are like these little seats and tables. You
yeah,
remember those?
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah. We don't have a lot of pictures of like the actual like setup because they really wanted you to just take pictures of the food. I think that
yeah.
was, what they were going for. So, but this kind of driveway set up, lined up with like small tables, and
Plastic
we would sit
chairs.
there while we're waiting for our food. And then they also had like these little games. You remember
Yeah,
those?
they did.
Like, Yeah,
They
just
had
like
Battleship, Connect
yeah,
Four.
uh-huh.
I think they had Uno sometimes as well.
Yeah, like card games and stuff too.
Yeah.
So again, it's like a real kind of backyard cookout, you know. Um, so it was again just it was a fun time, you know, and that was way back. That's way back, like see 2017, I think is when
Ooh,
first kind of reached out to them. But they come a long way, you know, and we'll get to that. But you know, now they have a brick and mortar, you know, out in Silver Lake. So number of things kind of spurred that along, but definitely popularity with them definitely helped that too. So yeah, we talked about you know just that whole thing about smash burgers, putting them on the map, and what was probably more alluring than anything. Okay,
yes, you are correct about what you're about to say.
yeah, I mean, you go back to the email even, you know, they list the menu, super simple. You can buy a burger, you can buy a drink, a canned drink or water, okay?
Yeah.
That's all fine. But the burger, okay? The smash burger is a a two patty, you know, kind of burger. Smash flat, right? With cheese and with them they got mustard, ketchup, onion on there, pickle or whatever. So um but that thing was $5. Okay, $5,
It was great. Oh my god, that price.
and then people probably argue I could go to McDonald's and get it for like 250, right? Or go off the dollar menu.
Yeah, but the quality is we're paying for a little bit extra quality there.
I think so. I think someone's putting actual effort right into to making something that is you know enjoyable to eat, not and something that you can yeah enjoy and kind of have a good time with, and you know
And it's
with your
not
friends.
pre-cooked. Yeah, it's like a fresh
So
burger.
yeah, yeah, cooked fresh, right? Hot off the grill.
Hmm.
Um, so I think there's a lot to say, you know, some about you know, whether or not something is kind of worth it in that way.
Yeah,
Um,
I
and then it
remember
also
too.
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I remember too. Like we used to go to the supermarket that's like a block away or something just to get
Uh
drinks of our own in
huh.
case.
We would save money.
It
We would
wasn't
save a
even
few bucks.
saving,
Oh,
honestly,
okay.
just because they had other options as
I
opposed to just
see.
Coke or Diet Coke. You know?
Got it. Okay. No, that's a good point. Yeah, you wanted your own drinks and flavors in there. And we would also it would be us. We'd also bring Anthony too, right?
Yeah, I
He'd
remember
join
that.
us too. Yeah. But yeah, that whole thing about the backyard again was a lot of fun. But it also and because you know these burgers are much smaller, I think comparatively to their kind of gastropub bar burger
Hmm.
counterparts. Um, it also introduced this concept of to always order two, and kind of
That's
became
right.
their slogan. You know, let me um let me just jump ahead and just like kind of bring up um something here. One of these pictures. You know, this was I think before right I picked up my digital camera. So, you know, a lot of
Hmm.
these photos are coming from my phone, which I was lucky to find, honestly. So glad to find them. But this is just kind of an example of what you get. For $5, again, you get these two thinly smashed patties, topped with cheese and again ketchup, mustard, onion. I mean, it looks I mean, the most direct comparison, you know, you get is to a McDonald's cheeseburger. You know, it's like either like an enhanced or elevated, I don't know, McDonald's cheeseburger. Which there's something to be said because they have very striking similarities. I mean,
Yeah,
they're thin patties and they're all topped with these same things. I mean, even the onion is, you know, kind of diced in that same
yeah,
way and they're topped with ketchup and mustard.
mustard.
Again, there's this again with the when you talk with the purists, if you will, the traditionalists, who you know they have things to say about ketchup on a burger, but you know, like I said, if the burger style calls for it, I mean, sure. I mean, just I mean, I'd go for it. You know, you can obviously modify it as you wish, but if the guy who made it wants it on there, there must be a reason most of the time. And so, you know, I'll go for it. I don't mind it. I get it. Ketchup is like too sweet sometimes. It can overpower, but it's fine. I like it. I mean, it's probably what a lot of us probably grew up with, eating McDonald's and things like
Yeah.
that. It comes with. So I ain't gonna yeah, I'm not gonna pick that out or anything. So um but that's kind of one of the many things that we had there. Um but we would always order two. That was always the kind of rule and mantra that we came
Yeah.
up with. I
Yeah.
mean, look, I
Like
mean,
sometimes
we
more,
just
but
as we had more fun, we just had more. We just ordered more.
yeah. And there's
Um,
one in the background of that one even.
I think those were all ours.
Yeah.
I think the most we probably ordered, shoot, between what the two or three of us, we probably got like we each probably got
10.
two, right? So that's like six at least,
Yeah.
and maybe we could have probably pushed for more if
I
we
think
really wanted to.
I think the most we did each was 5 one time.
Are you kidding me? That's
I vaguely remember doing 5.
oh my god. That's I don't I it's a miracle we didn't have to have the ambulance lined up right outside.
Oh, we probably had many heart attacks and didn't even know, honestly.
Mini strokes.
Yeah, somehow
And
just
yet we're
barely
still
survived.
here. So it's nothing short of a miracle really. But here's another one, as we were going along, as they were doing these cooks and things every week, here's one that
Yeah,
probably brings you back.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's my favorite version of the
Well, what do you remember
burger.
about this? Can you tell
It's
me?
the upside down burger. They did
Okay.
it specifically when Stranger Things was when it first came out. They were
Right.
super into it. One
Yeah.
Halloween, they were even all dressed up as characters from Stranger Things. They set up like whatever the order. There,
Hmm.
where's Barb?
Oh,
Um,
right. Yes, that was still early on season one. Man,
this is
season
the reason
one.
I watched Stranger Things.
Oh man,
Season 1.
you can
That's why I
thank
watched
Burgers
season 1
Never
of
Say
Stranger.
Die for a Stranger Things convert. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh man, I
But
love
we
the
were
upside
really
down
into this
burger.
because the bun was grilled, in this upside down way. So it's like
Yeah.
having like a toasted bun, right?
Hmm.
On the
It basically
outside.
was, yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Um,
love toasted buns.
yeah. And so on this smash burger, like, yeah, it really did something pretty nice. And I don't think there was any extra charge to it.
Charged. No, it
I
wasn't.
think it was the same, exact same. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, so that one,
Memories. I
here's
miss
just
that.
another angle of that upside down. So, um, we'll just
Looks like
stare
a
at,
mess, honestly.
yeah, a delicious
But
mess.
it was, yes, glorious. Glorious
Yeah.
mess.
One other one I wanted to bring up that I had found was this one here, which is not a Burgers Never Say Die burger,
That looks like
but
a
to those in the know, they might either remember or they just might know. This is a also a smash burger, but this is a fried onion smash burger of Oklahoma style. So
oh.
this was I realized this was probably my earliest introduction to, um, I would say, well-renowned burger historian George Motes. Um,
Oh.
and I think I don't remember. This was one of my first introductions to this guy that um, studies the tradition and the regions of burgers throughout America, um, and
Sounds
tries
like a dream
to.
job.
Yeah, I know. Sounds pretty good. But he had come down, to LA. I think he was doing a smorgasbord thing, and then so he had stopped by here to do this kind of side by side cook with them. So Burgers Never Say Die were doing their own, kind of ordering their thing, and then he was making his as well. So you could order
I
both,
remember that.
and yet here
Dang.
and so here we are. So this was yeah, so you've got the again the two thinly smashed patties with cheese and the grilled onion, caramelized in there, and then in between a potato bun. So that was kind of the big one of the differences there. So it was a very interesting. It was very good. I mean, I remember that, and again, it was kind of history from there. I mean, just um, I was lucky to kind of keep following, George Motes and his work and his fine work uh, to this country. So, um, but yeah, again, you see in the background, right? Just the Connect
Yes.
Four, just right there, just waiting. Yeah, so that was a fun day, So let me bring up that article there. This is their Instagram, obviously, so you can just visit that. I mean, they got burgers, burgers, burgers. And again, a lot of these are from their brick and mortar location now in Silver Lake. But
Is it?
this was I think the original article. I had come across about this underground spot or whatever, and yeah, just about how to find them and things like that. And again, it's a backyard operation, so you don't expect um, you know top notch service. But I think for what it was, I think you got great friendly service. I mean,
Oh yeah.
people. I mean, Bonnie, especially, like, she's the first person you see. She's taking all the orders. She's kind of putting up with all the people who can't decide uh, from like one item on the menu. Uh, should I get a burger? Or how about a burger? I'm not
Or
quite sure.
two.
Or maybe two. So, and then the team there just kind of putting the burgers together and serving them up. Um, it was great. All considering, it was a good time. So, but then it brings us to this kind of this. I would say maybe it's a catalyst to their next phase, really, because of this article here that
Oh yeah.
um, that they were shut down. Do you remember that day?
There
That
was a
was,
day that we were there and they got shut down
I
once
think that was the day. I feel
for this
like that
article.
was the day.
Because I know it's happened multiple times.
Well, with them, I don't know if it happened. I think it happened. Like, this was the one thing, the one. Well, maybe you're right. I don't quite remember now, but I do remember one day they just kind of shut it down abruptly. Like, they'd
Yeah.
taken our orders, but then not soon after, they kind of had to give us our money back, and tell us that they couldn't do it because
Yeah.
someone got complaints.
I
So
remember that.
it was a real shame when that happened. So, oops. So it kind of really put things like in limbo, really, for them, as to what they were going to do next, because they got a formal complaint, and
Mhm.
so they really couldn't do anything. Kind of tied. So I say it's like a catalyst because I think it really spurred them to really think of their next move. You know, um, and so, and by that next move, I think it was like getting to that brick and mortar eventually, right? But in the meantime, they're trying to think of ways what they would do while they're getting there. Because, obviously, not that I know anything about it, but, opening a restaurant in LA, any spot really, is going to be very expensive, for real estate, and just operating a restaurant, I'm sure, has its own headaches and things to deal with. But um, if that's something, obviously the people really, they really want something like this. And so I think that's what they wanted to give them. So, one other thing I guess I'll bring up in light of that, as part of kind of their efforts in doing that, was kind of doing these pop ups elsewhere, kind of
Oh, that's
popping up at
right.
different locations and getting support and things like that. I think at one point they were even like offering catering, and private events and things of that sort. So, um, with that said, this was a pick. It's not um, very clean or elegant or anything, but this was a very interesting event in itself. This is kind of their way. I think this was supposed to be like some sort of fundraising event, for them, but they partnered with the guys behind the restaurant Animal, which is, well, shoot, is that John and Vinny? So anyway, um, so they partnered with them, and they served up their burgers alongside these other sides here.
Yeah, what is that?
Again, there, see, there's our food groups right there. We got
What
greens.
is that?
Yeah.
Did we eat that?
Yes, we did. because we paid
Are you
we
sure?
paid a pretty penny for this. Okay, so we definitely ate this. So, but
Doesn't sound like me.
well, um, it happened. So deal with it.
It's a weird color. I don't know, man.
I know, very unusual, but we got through it, and so that was just one of many. I mean, I think there's one, at least one other I can show here. Like, they popped up here.
But
I
those
think
fries,
this is
though,
when they were at the Glendale Tap in Glendale, and they were serving out of there a few times. So
did they really?
I would go out there. I don't remember. I want to say you were there with us, but I remember there was a
I,
time we went with
I,
like John and Carmen and all that.
was it
We had a
BNSD?
little
Because I
group.
remember going to Glendale Tap for pop ups, but I don't remember
Yeah,
them
I
specifically.
mean they were definitely there.
Okay.
Now whether or not we had you there for that particular time, I don't know now. But they were there, and and I'd say that's kind of the proof of that there. But so they popped around, and then finally in 2019, they finally kind of got a brick and mortar location together. So they kind of had like this soft opening or kind of this way to kind of test out. And this was a pic of what that was like. I
Oh, you
can't
got it.
remember, like they had this system of where you had to reserve, you know, to get your food that day. I don't remember I remember walking up there, but I don't remember if I had to go there like to order the ticket, or if I ordered beforehand and then went to the store to do something. But regardless, this was like kind of the um, our ticket to for it. So you can also see there, this is at Silver Lake, along Silver Lake.
We're blocking the
Uh,
art.
shoot. Well, they'll see it next time.
Sure.
Oh boy. But for those that can't see behind us, you got kind of the kind of video game avatars of the original Burgers Never Say Die crew. You got,
Yeah.
from left to right, you got Gary, Bonnie, Sean, and Brad over there. Um, and so this is along, I can't remember what streets. Obviously, there's Silver Lake and Glendale, I think,
Glendale.
I want to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
It's not too far from the Bank of America down
Yeah.
there.
And the
Yeah.
reservoir.
hmm
That's down the
Also
reservoir.
near the Red Line Tavern, for those who know that landmark, and just give reference. But um, yeah, just a shop there. And even then, after they opened, they would still get, the lines, right? The
Yeah.
lines of people.
Yeah.
And again, just asking like, is it worth it? Is it worth the wait? I think that's like the one thing that really stuck to me, like people asking, why would you wait in line? Is it worth the wait? And I'm like, I mean, for those people, it is. I mean, I don't
Mm-hmm.
see a problem. You just live your life. You kind of do what you want to do, spend your time. Maybe you enjoy it with people, or it's just the way that you want to spend your time. But I think overall, yeah, I think, um, supporting, a small team of people that's like putting in effort to make good food. I think that in itself is kind of worth it. To support and to enjoy good food. I mean, sure, it's not the necessarily like the days at the backyard. Maybe not
Yeah.
as casual. Don't get to strike up conversation as much as you used to. But it's just kind of nice to see where your support goes. Obviously they put in all the legwork and all of that, but it's nice to see how they kind of grow and find their way. You know, even through like all these troubled times and all that. So it's pretty good. I'm very happy for them. Um, and I mean, on top of that, on top of the burgers, at that point is probably one other topic that's worth talking about on its own, which is really French fries with
Mm-hmm.
burgers, because I think that's like really the number one thing that people would ask for with their burgers.
When they were in the backyard, yeah, I remember that.
Absolutely. you know, um, because otherwise they serve drinks. Maybe they got chips. I don't
Yeah,
know, but
potato
no
chips, just
fries.
bag chips.
Fries are hard. I mean, fries are hard to obviously got to get the fryer. You got to fry them, but then you got to keep them keep them hot. It's a whole thing. So for them to make fries, I think was a big deal.
It
And
was huge when they added it to their menu.
yeah, and to be honest, I think they delivered. I think they really nailed it.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
again, going back to that kind of McDonald's kind of thing, like I think they said so themselves. Like they really tried to put an effort to make you kind of remind you of that type of quality and flavor of a McDonald's fry. And that was largely due to the use of beef tallow in frying, which I understand is the way that McDonald's used to do it, which gave it more of that signature McDonald's taste, however they did it. So, but regardless of whatever McDonald's did, Burgers Never Say Die and theirs is really, it, as they say, it hits. Right? Okay.
It slaps.
It slaps.
We're old.
No, no, I'm keeping up. What are you talking about?
Okay.
So, but those fries were very good. I mean, you would eat those
Hell yeah.
easily. I mean, so just again, that beef tallow, that fat, and then you got you put on the salt in there, and it's just a nice French fry. That you eat with your burger. Really, no complaints with that.
Did they ever? I forgot. Well, we haven't been in a while, but did they ever do the upside down at the brick and mortar?
That's a good question. I don't remember.
Yeah,
Honestly, I want to say no.
Hmm.
What they did do, although it doesn't really help, they and something they had, I think, in the backyard still was like a grilled cheese, which they called the grilled deets,
Oh, that's right.
and that's basically like the upside down, with the
So
bun.
that's meat. Yeah.
So there's your hack. You buy the grilled deets, and
Yes,
you
so
just
throw the buns
swap out the
away.
buns. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So, yeah. So, and then in addition to that too, what would go good, with your burger, your fries? What more would be good would be ice cream. Something cold and sweet. So they, I don't remember if I'd heard it correctly. I remember early on when they were kind of throwing out these ideas and planning, I had almost thought I had heard that they had considered the idea of using Fosselman's ice cream
Oh, really?
in in whatever and however they were serving their ice cream. I thought that's what I had heard, but that's not what it panned out or what it turned out being, which is not a bad thing because they partnered with this this ice cream truck called CVT, and CVT actually they do soft serve, and soft serve honestly doesn't get enough love, I don't think. But these guys, they do a particularly good soft serve, and they call themselves CVT because it's literally the types of flavors they do: chocolate, vanilla, and twist. So this is their twist. It's pretty straightforward, and so they got a machine in there that they just kind of serve up the soft serve on there. So it's really a really simple burger shop, and you really can't go wrong, with getting something over there. So, do you remember this much?
I
The soft
honestly
serve?
don't.
No,
No, because I
that's
mean, honestly, when we go, because that was only added at the brick and mortar, and the only reason to go to the brick and mortar for the fries and the burgers. Just say it. That was my reasoning for.
Well,
everything.
again, I'm partial towards ice cream, so I will.
Sure.
I'll get it when I can.
That's your number one food group.
It's up there.
Okay. Fair.
It's up in the pyramids. I don't know. Actually, burgers would probably be like a foundational food group if we're thinking
the biggest layer. Yeah.
It's what builds other foods built on it. So, but yeah, that so they're in that Silver Lake shop now, and they still are. But again, it's like that was back in 2019, and then as you know, like a year later, you get the pandemic, and so must have been really tough to kind of navigate that because a lot of stores had to
Couldn't
force to
survive.
go to like either close up temporarily or to like do takeout. And so it was really tricky. I mean, sure, they say, yeah, go do takeout, support them. But the logistical things to do that is just must have been a nightmare. Or just more challenging altogether. And then even so, on top of that, you experience crazy people,
Oh, yes,
break-ins, harassments. I don't know. It's a shame, really. The kind of things that small businesses get, when they're trying to really make a living and trying to um, serve the
survive.
people, and make good things.
Hmm.
Um, which is too bad. But hopefully, they're still around and you can still reach them in person. You can order in person or order online, or they do delivery too, I think. That's what I saw.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I don't think I've ordered online or anything. I think I've just gone in person, those
Oh,
visits I've
since
had. Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
okay.
It's been a while, but um, it's good to still, support. I mean, they've been on all, especially during that time early on, and probably even now. They're definitely still on like a lot of the food lists. They make their way
Hmm.
around, word of mouth. What is the best burger out there, or what's the best burger in LA? You'll definitely hear them mentioned, and I think deservedly so. I think they made a name for themselves. They put this style of burger on the map, and one other thing it reminds me, it was the the term meat lace that came up. Yes,
What?
when they smash the patty real thin, thin enough,
Oh,
it crisps up, the edges of the patty. So, in addition to the patty itself, you've got this kind of crispy ish lace that you know that surrounds the burger. So
yeah.
you got a couple different. You kind of got a little textural thing going on, and so they call it meat lace. So, um,
Sounds terrible, but it's
no, I think
delicious.
I think that's fine. That's just fine. Um, but burgers never say die. I mean, um, that's a lot we can kind of say about them. Nothing really more than that. I mean, aside from please, support them, visit them. Uh, I really wish the best for obviously for the original the OG crew. I
Hmm.
don't know if as I'm recording this, I don't know if Bonnie is still there because I know she was there like early on when the brick and mortar
Yeah, I
when they
remember that.
were taking orders and stuff. But the folks like Brad and Gary, I know they're doing their own thing, and just kind of wish them all well. So actually, Gary particularly, you may still see him around
Oh.
when like in the burger scene when George Motes is in town. Sometimes Gary will kind of help him out on the grill. Um, like so when they're doing like Smorgasburg or like these kind of events in LA, you might see him
Hmm.
around if you're
Oh,
lucky.
interesting.
But yeah, um, that's burgers never say die. You got any other thoughts on this?
Just memories, honestly. It's a very
Yeah.
nostalgic place. We used to
Yeah,
go a
I
lot.
think so. I mean, even a few years back, I mean, we can already say it like it was kind of nostalgic. I obviously we didn't know the direction of where this was going. We just thought that we would be eating in someone's backyard for a good while, just ordering $5 burgers and
Yeah.
ordering probably half the supply.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Pretty
um,
sure they sold out once after we
I
ordered.
I think so. That sounds right. That sounds
At
right.
least once that's happened.
Yes, you can thank us. Um, but yeah, just I just it does kind of get me, looking forward to talking about more of places like these, these kind of underground, kind of backyard places, and they start off small, but through word of mouth and support, like they grow. That's what the people want, and that's what they continue to give. So, um, again, I'm glad that they're around and they serve one of my important food groups. So,
Not just
hopefully,
yours. How dare you?
and hopefully be yours too.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
um, But yeah, no. Aside from that, I mean that's really it. We've got a lot more to talk about. I mean, this is gonna go kind of slow because we're just like talking about one thing right now, and we're
And we
like,
have so many food
there's
groups.
so many places. I mean, we could probably like group all of them in like an episode or like a type of food, but I don't know. I feel like I'd like to spend time, just like this, just kind of remembering and talking about these places and focusing on what they do and what they do well.
Yeah.
Um, so hopefully you'll continue to join us, hoping to get too bored or anything. But um, again, we hope to bring you more great episodes of our food adventures and again our favorite food groups. Um, you can find this. We're streaming on YouTube, and you can find the audio wherever fine podcasts are served. But with that, I'm Angelo,
I'm Macho.
and we will catch you at the next one.